A very good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of my career closet, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the panelists and the attendees for joining in. My name's Aditi Agrawal. I manage customer success for My Career Closet. To briefly introduce the company, My Career Closet provides students equitable access to advice and professional clothing, now serving major universities in the US. As you can see, the topic of career preparedness goes far beyond resume prep now. And we see that employers do care about this, which is why we're here. I'd like to very quickly introduce our esteemed panelists who have joined us here today. We have Camilla, who is the Senior Vice President of Partnerships and Head of Demand Generation at Moodle. We've got Lorinda Cole, who is the Associate Director at the Career Center at Babson College. And we've got Lee, who has graciously agreed to moderate the event for us. He's the CEO of Rhodes Advisor and also the board advisor for My Career Closet. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we're going to talk about equitable access to career preparedness. First, we'll start with a broad view of career preparedness and state of affairs at universities. Next, we'll dive into specific topics of inclusivity, technology, and funding. And finally, we'll end with closing remarks from our panelists.
So I am thrilled to join this call today. I love the mission of My Career Closet. I am eager to have a conversation with each of you. I am always supportive of any company or initiative that wants to ensure that students get access no matter where they're from or where they're headed. So I'm looking forward to the conversation today.
My name is Lorinda Cole. I'm the Senior Associate Director for Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Access Partnerships in the Undergraduate Center for Career Development at Babson College. And I'm excited to share with you our story at Babson College of how we were able to leverage the My Career Closet by Hyde to provide equitable access to our students.
I'll go last. Lee Bradshaw. I've spent the last 15 years working with higher ed's leaders, mostly focused on online learning models. I'm also an advisory board member for my alma mater, Radford University.
How would you describe the current state of affairs in career preparedness among students? And what do you think are the expectations of hiring managers?
A lot of students have the curriculum from the school that they learn, but then it's that invisible curriculum, how they show up and their confidence in their first interview. And I think there's a new way to do that, which is helping students prepare for it, getting the clothes they need, getting the styling advice they need.
We actually look at data. We solicit data from our departments, from our students. We get that input. That's essential to us to move forward in our decision-making at Babson College. I'm really focusing on how do we create more access for our students? What is it about these students that we're not reaching? What is it that we don't know about them? How can we go about getting more information on them and providing them access as well? And we know that career readiness is essential and important.
Barriers to equitable access, financial constraints. Some students might not be able to afford. Some students may lack access to influential networks. I can relate to a lot of these challenges as a former Marine Corps spouse. And if you've been in the military branch as a spouse, you know it's a very complicated world. But there is a burden in applying for the resources and navigating through everything. And I was quite the non-traditional student's financial constraints. That was a huge connection when I saw that. I struggled to find resources and invest in my education and career preparation. But one thing I wanted to mention is I didn't see anyone like me, which made it even harder to find relatable role models or mentorships or networks. Even though I knew programs existed, I didn't know where to find them. I didn't know who to talk to them about them. I felt really insecure and uneducated about what I needed. Many students would rather not even pursue a lot of these resources that are available because there are so many barriers and hurdles in place. And so I love the fact that My Career Closet is allowing students to have access to look and feel ready to interview, to start their professional journeys in a way that is simple. It's in a way that is connected with the university. The university understands the needs of the student.
How do you go about getting data from students or about students in a way that helps serve them?
It's a collaborative process. We know that one particular channel is not going to provide sufficient data to help us understand our student body. So yes, we in undergraduate CCD have the opportunity to talk directly to our students. We've been invited to student government meetings to meet with those student leaders. We meet with some of the student advisors to the student clubs and student organizations. We also have the opportunity to collaborate with different divisions and departments across our organization, because we understand that well-being has a significant impact on how a student is able to engage in the career journey. We have a really great advisory board and relationships with recruiters. We get consistent feedback from the recruiters who are seeking Babson talent, and they're giving us feedback on how our students are performing in interviews and what their applications are looking like and how they're answering essay questions. So we're collecting all of these data points along the way so we can get a better picture of how career ready our students are, where are some of the gaps, and then how we can start developing some collaborative programming, the necessary tools for our students to be able to succeed and move forward along their career journey.
Can you elaborate a little more on how these data points can be leveraged with different tools and metrics to identify different gaps and requirements amongst different student demographics?
We know that there are some changes happening with inclusion, diversity, equity, and access within the higher administration. Some colleges may have some reduced programming, reduced funds. So again, leveraging different departments across campus to understand your student body is essential. Some of those students may have more barriers to access. They may not have people who look like them. Talk to the coaches. We talk to athletic services. We talk to our librarians, because they see the students and they have these really great relationships. Or it's the librarians who see the students doing the research on the computers at 11 o'clock at night. There's data points along the way in all different forms. Getting that information from recruiters is helpful. And then to start looking at, okay, what are some opportunities here? What are some programs that we can provide to fill in some of those gaps?
I'm curious what you would have liked as part of your experience to have seen from student services. What do you wish you had back then?
When I was in the undergraduate space, there was a more authentic career preparation period where it was a priority for a university. We're returning kind of to that time. Universities had to be focused on career services because we did not have the digital tools in place. We knew that once we left the university, we were going to a face-to-face interview. We were walking into a building. We had to physically hand over a copy of the resume. We did not have access to know what the skill sets and things were. We're seeing a significant shift towards integrating career services into the full academic journey. I wish we had the insight into the career space that we do now. But what we didn't have was the access and the understanding of the career space, the research, what it takes to be competitive, the skill sets their employers are looking for.
As you think about the Student Support Office and its relationship to the alumni arm, so I'm curious how you all have thought about the continuance of the student support into the career.
I work specifically with undergraduate students, and we still provide them support within like 6 months of graduation. So we all of our outcomes are measured after 6 months of graduation. So we do provide services for students past graduation or past 6 months after graduation, where they can leverage our career services if they've maybe completed an additional year of work past graduation or another internship past graduation. They may be eligible for more years of experience beyond just regular 1 to 2 years entry level. As we think about My Career Closet and how we launched our professional attire program this past spring, we had strong partnership with our Office of Advancement. And we had a really great and generous donation from an alum who understands the needs of our Babson students, who answered the call to say, I understand that we have students, these are entrepreneurs, these are students who are at a business college. They've taken the same courses I've taken. They're entering the same type of employment that I've done. And I want to be able to fill in the gap. And so we had a very generous alum who provided a sizable donation for us to pilot this particular program. And we have a strong, great relationship with our advancement office, who is continuing to scout and look out for funding so we can continue to run the program in the fall. For all the colleges and career centers on here today, I encourage you to build that relationship with your advancement and alumni office, because there definitely can be opportunities with alumni who have been in the shoes of the students who are in that position right now to provide some support to your current students.
If you could elaborate a little more on the best practices that help you deliver an inclusive experience for students when it comes to career preparedness.
The Babson College is known for business. We are a business college. We are focused on entrepreneurial thought and action. The way that we teach our students and how we live throughout our work experiences, we work through entrepreneurial thought and action. Sometimes we call it ET&A. And so it's a mindset, it's a skill set where we are consistently embracing change. We're okay with navigating uncertainty. So it's all about iterating, acting again, assessing what we've done, and then keep going. So we have a continuous feedback loop to help us move forward as we continue to provide programming specifically related to building greater access for our students. It's at the core of everything we do, is making sure that we're building access, reducing barriers, being inclusive. We also launched a program for our employer partners. It's called the IDEA Employer Champion Program. And that's our opportunity to highlight employers who really focus on reducing workplace discrimination, who are champions, understand bias in the workplace, and have policies and procedures in place to reduce that or to address it.
There are so many students that will not leave the university and go to a corporate job or have an employer. My career closet is supporting entrepreneurs who are walking out into the world to start businesses. They're helping them look professional for the pitch, for the contract close, the supplier conversation. My career closet is supporting entrepreneurs, and that is actually pretty amazing if you think about how many students are leaving school and trying to start companies. And that's great that that service is available.
If you could elaborate a little more on how we can leverage technology to support these best practices that the universities have going on.
Technology can bridge gaps. If it's done the right way in a university, it's integrated. It allows everyone to track student success, to understand where customizations are needed for student support. It allows personalized pathways. 70% of undergraduate students say technology enhances their learning experience and allows them to feel more prepared for after their degree. The key is to make sure that the technology is useful for the goal of serving the student and not just another piece of technology that is not being used, is not tracking data, is not allowing you to follow up with students, and is not allowing you to make actionable decisions to continue to serve the student beyond their time at the university.
It's really about meeting the students where they are. How do you think about the balance of being there as a human, as a person, and then also think about how do we measure success as an organization?
So let me just use this pilot program that we launched with Hyde. So this is our professional attire program. The heart was we knew students were not comfortable, were not prepared, and they did not have the financial means to buy that suit for the networking event, for the interview, or for their upcoming internship. So we hear the stories. We have the opportunity to collaborate with an alum, funding to bring this to light. And then we're partnering with Hyde Closet with this technology for ease to select the garments, to meet with a professional stylist, to understand that that stylist is looking out for them to make sure they have the right garment for the industry they're getting into. What a student might interview in for Goldman Sachs may not be the same interview outfit for Wayfair. We're bringing all these pieces together of hearing the students' stories, understanding their needs, their challenges, their barriers, and then providing them with this option of scan the QR code, click on the link, look at the lookbook, and we're going to provide you the funding. Just fill out some application questions. But at the end of the day, our goal was to get as many students who showed up to say, I need this support. To provide them that funding, right? So as we think about what's the measure of success, is we built in this reflection component. So students who receive that funding, they can submit a video, they can submit a paper, a PowerPoint of how they use the funds. We provided the students the money up front, and then they were able to just purchase their clothes. But reading their reflections, we see I have confidence because I was able to focus my attention on my responsibilities at this internship and not worry about not fitting in. Another one is I was able to devote my time to my responsibilities, and I was able to buy a Babson logoed button-up shirt. And so I fit in with my peers, and I also get to show my school pride. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to have to worry about waking up every morning and trying to figure out what to wear. We can take these stories back to our donors, more funding so we can continue this program. And we share these stories with you all to say, we're changing lives, reducing barriers. Students are able to feel like they belong, and they may have the best internship lined up, but if they are not able to dress their best that very first day, that very first week, it really reduces their confidence. We're so excited that we were able to provide this resource to our students, and we're looking forward to what we'll be able to do for phase 2.
I learned a couple days ago, speaking with a university that's owned by a hospital, that their ability to attract diverse student populations with equitable access saves lives. Because when your patient demographics are matching your patient care teams, people more likely to come back in and have check-ins and all of that, and actually improves the overall output of the hospital. Students affairs officers are also saving lives by making sure that ultimately the nurses, the doctors, the practical care folks look and sound like their audience. And it's like, the breadth of this impact is so large, and it's when you're thinking about it day to day, it's like it's easy to forget.
I am a mother of children who have gone through the college process and gone on into their careers. And I'm telling you, we do not understand the importance of our children or our students or these young adults feeling good, armed with a degree from your university, with a resume, or just ambition and energy that they are going to go out into the world and be able to support themselves. I don't think we put enough emphasis on how important it is for them to go in and not have to worry about what they look like, or not have to worry that they're not going to be able to dress the part to fit into this new career space that they're entering. It's just like so important what my career closet is doing. It's exceptional work.
We have a few questions from the audience. The first question I'd like to pose to you, Lorinda. They'd love to learn a little more about sponsorship and funding. So any particular insights that you can share about sponsorship, because we understand that in a lot of cases, students require that support from the university, but the universities more often than not will have to raise that kind of sponsorship. So any particular grants or resources that you recommend universities explore?
3-prong answer. 1, partnering with your Office of Advancement or fundraising, whatever it's called in your institution, because having a great relationship with them, most of the time their job is to find some of these grants. In your role in career services, you're able to provide them some data points, information about the need, where you see the need. Second, having a program, a sponsorship program, right? I would think most career centers have some type of sponsorship program where they're leveraging their employer partners, or they might have like a platinum, silver, gold level sponsorship where employers are able to advertise their resources, come and host workshops or ice cream socials and things like that. So being able to have a sponsorship program where there's different levels where employers can tap into providing some type of financial support to your career center, that's super helpful. And then for that 3rd prong is looking at how we were able to learn about a particular way to highlight employers and sponsors. My career closet shared with us, okay, you have a sponsorship program, you have advancement, and we can provide you some additional resources to highlight, your employers. So there's an opportunity there to put the name of those employers or those donors on that box, and the student sees that and they can say, oh, these are the companies that care about me. They know how they know that they have these business professional dress codes or standards of operation, and they care about the students. And so this is the company who is helping provide me professional attire so that I'm able to represent myself in the best way for their interview. I appreciate that particular part of branding and sponsorship that my career closet shared with us.
What is the best student success story you've heard recently? Lorinda, if you want to share something that you've seen as you do this job for all the students, that'd be pretty awesome.
Again, we have that measurement in, and we're receiving reflections day by day of students who are actually using their professional attire stipend to buy their clothes, and they're writing about or recording themselves of how this has equaled the playing field for them. They have sent us videos of how they feel equipped, and they don't have these worries anymore about finding out what to wear in the morning for their internship. A student just attended a networking event this past month and was just excited that he was able to represent himself in the best way, and that he knows that he's not going to have to worry about finding something professional to wear for the next recruiting cycle. Just being able to read that and feel just the ease and the peace that a student has in this moment, but then also the realization that the student is not going to have that stress for the next recruiting cycle. That's where I see that this is the work that we're doing to reduce those barriers, to increase access to students. We're building that career equity. And yes, it's in professional dress, and it's about how students look, and for them to be able to stand out in the way they want and not have to be judged in a way based on because of their circumstances. They get to show up in their best self. And that's just amazing. And I'm excited to continue with that.
I'll round it out. Thank you all the attendees that joined. Once again, Camila, Lorinda, thank you so much. Aditi, as a colleague, thank you for putting this on. I'll just say dressing professionally is how you make a great first impression. And that's what we're doing for students. We're making sure that the knowledge that they've learned and the skills they've learned from their universities are then magnified by being ready for the experience that they have in the professional setting. And we're launching with a bunch of schools this summer. And if you are interested in being part of that launch, please reach out to us. There's a QR code on the screen, or you can find us from the website as well. But thank you very much, everybody. And I hope you all have a great day.